Hello, everyone. It's Nikki you again, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching the Awesome10X Philippine Market Update. It's already March 8, 2021. Sange po holo. So congratulations, and we are already at the month of March. It's already the third month of the year. Let's begin. All right. So Sec, you can see that the index is today dropping 124 points, down 1.81%. Your index in the Philippines is now dropping, something that we kind of expected for it to drop actually last week. So this is actually more like a delayed movement, if you'll ask me. The Philippine market today is 9.3 billion pesos, 38 advancers, 201 decliners, down 498 million pesos. You see a sea of red. Let's read the index movers today in the Philippine market. Okay, let's click on that. So actually, if you've been watching the Awesome10X channel, we've already been recommending since February 15, 2021, a day after the Valentine's Day, when we saw that the Philippine dollar peso spiked from about 48 pesos to something like in the realm of 48.4 in a single day. We knew already that the market was not acting right. And so we were actually advising to trim positions and really go into some cash. And so this is actually more like a delayed reaction, if you'll ask me, when it comes to the Philippine market. So let's try to reload. Okay, let's take a look at your index movers. Your index, all right, it is refresh. Let's try to refresh this. Why don't we just go to the stats? All right, stats na lang, guys. So you can see that from the stats here, you're already seeing a lot of red. Your Dito Telcom continuous down from about 15 now to 13.9. We opined actually that Dito Telcom had to be sold and trimmed and exited actually. And so we don't think that any of our Awesome10X watchers would actually be surprised on this drop. Now, Mary Mart, we said that there was a lot of selling offs around 7, 8. That's a lot of distribution. Right now, you're seeing Mary Mart down 15%, down to 5. Your FI is also down. We saw it double tops at about $3. We were asking ourselves, well, is the third, fourth time going to be the charm? It failed to break out and indeed went back down from about $3 all the way down to about 2.4. You're seeing that it's just a big range for your FA from about 1.6 to 3.2 with about $3, 3 pesos really a resistance. Now your APL is down to about 223, seeing a sell-off on your markets, also sold down. It's still 50% below that 40-cent range. So it's actually that 40-cent high. So you actually see that still being sold down a lot, your APL. You have more resistances, lower highs. It's a downtrend. Your ASEN is now down to about 676. We opined like just really almost every day that we thought that ASEN was a distribution range in the 7 to 8 peso range. And then, of course, even if we like the company's secular trend, we would prefer getting it at the lower levels. Today, 676. Let's see if it will fall another 5% next coming days. Your Davin is down to 358. People, of course, are not aware what exactly is the authorized capital structure for Davin would be. That's why it's being sold down at 350. Your BSC, your BHI are falling 10% and 20%. We asked ourselves why BHI was rising to about 10 cents last Friday, and then we opined and checked, okay, so there's that Friday's resorts. But the thing is, of course, we also know that there's no such thing as a traveler so far, at least at the moment with the Boracay area. We know that the travel industry is still under capacity versus the prior years past. And so although there are people traveling, going to Boracay and so forth, we don't see an expected 100% rebound just as fast as the market thinks. However, if the market is trying to revalue the other properties, that could be the other reason why it's going up. But if we're going to strictly talk about the travel industry per se, as in the hotels and resorts, we don't see 100% rebound on the travel related industries in the short time spent. Okay, so BDO 106 after hitting 110, now it's going to back down to about 106. Your Jollibee rallied to 188, now it's back to 180 bucks. Although we like Jollibee long term, we do think that of course there's a short term resistance in your restaurant sector, given the fact that, well, it's not as if like the vaccine can just propel people to just suddenly have higher household spending for them to just spend any day that they want to buy some of their chicken and their spending. And, you know, household expenditures is a function of your economy, and with the economy still reeling down, not just the Philippine market, because Jollibee is of course a global company with a lot of Chinese and Vietnamese, Actually, what's a bright spot on Jollibee is actually the fact that the international market is growing faster than the Philippine economy. So the foray of Jollibee outside the Philippine market is in a way one of their ways to protect and become a resilient company and not dependent only in the Philippine market. So it's a diversification play for Jollibee, which we expect is going to make it better off rather than simply sticking to revenues solely in the Philippine market. Now, your BPI and Metro Bank is down 5% after, of course, that movement to 88. We opine that BPI at 88 seems to be a resistance. Metro Bank at 51, we felt was going to get a resistance after, of course, the X date. And so this is just a normal thing. 48.7, your Metro Bank. ICT staying 125, but likely the market's not going to pay as high of a premium. It is going to be about the economy, global economy growth. So it's still going to be a function of that. Green is down to about 405. You saw people ramping up your green from as low as 1 peso to as high as 480. The problem is, of course, and we opine that there will be some bout of profit taking, of course, because it has rallied more than 300% already from their lows. Now, of course, your Ayala Land is dropping today, 37.75. We also argue that 40 bucks was nearing resistance, and so we caution people to be aware of the resistances of your PSEI. Yours is 127, waiting for a drop near 120. We'll see whether we get it. Prim is about 306. We didn't understand why Prim was going up from 1 to 350 to begin with. So until now, up or down, I still don't understand. Land is up 50%. Again, I don't understand the things that go up sometimes 50%. And so I do not care to understand everything in the world. MRC down 10%, 48 to 43. Your Vol is down 16%, 2.7 to 2.3. Your IMI is dropping 1290 to 1090. As you can see, some people are wondering whether the extension moves of 100% from IMI at 7 is perhaps valid or not. So they're questioning themselves. They're making a profit-taking move even at today's 15% drop. ABA and Nicolasia, you're seeing that ABA's down 9%. Your Nicolasia barely fell. But in a way, hey, the people who like Nicolasia might actually want to wait lower. They're going to try to bargain hot despite the fact that they like the trend of your nickel companies worldwide. Of course, it is a beneficiary of your electric vehicles and your renewable energies, which will have storage batteries, which will need your nickel. Now, your SM Prime is down to 35.9. You still see that huge range for your malls and department stores. Mega World is down to 359. Meralco's 275. SM is 1039. Load is 1.57. JG Summit 63. Nothing really surprises me in the Philippine market. What exactly surprises me is how delayed the drop is actually. Now, top gainers are not in your index. You've got the top gainer of Cebu Pacific at 45.9, but that is just in a range. You still have resistance at 50, but a lot of support at about 45 to 40 pesos area. Your DMW is 696, but it's not like 2 million pesos only, so it's nothing much. So as you see, the Philippine gainers are very little volume. Other than this 110 million pesos traded for your AB, which is 807 to 864. Still, though, I have no idea what Land and AB's results are for them to go up 50% and 7% respectively for the day. Whereas losers, Davin, BHI, FAV, VOL, IMI, Merrimart, BKR. So you're seeing that in the non-index group, they have a lot of big moves on the downside. Okay? So we're seeing that the Philippine market is finally going down with the US markets. Yes. So there is no decoupling in the Philippine market. That is something that I argued that it will not decouple. Now, cash is king talaga, ma'am. Sell muna ako lahat ng hawak ko kahit pa may vaccine. Bagsak pa rin si PSE. Well, yeah, I expected actually the Philippine markets not to really stay above 7K. We have been opining since December 7-1, 7-2 to be selling on your Philippine market moves. Mga third or fourth quarter pa kasi darating yung 20 million doses ng Moderna vaccine. It's gonna take a while, guys. We're not gonna travel everyone and leave the house. We're not just gonna appear to be forgetting every problem in the world. Disbursement na po ba? Distribution na po ba ang Merrimart? Looks like, so actually it's been a delayed move, guys. It took a while. It took a while for the market to actually do a distribution move. Whenever you see an extended move, guys, usually extensions are to be sold, not to be bought. So it happened to your Dito Telecom. It's happening to your FA. It's happening to your bigger movements, right? So it's actually happening right now to Merrimart. Dito FA, Merrimart, Asen, extensions, right? Take a look at the charts. So this is Dito Telecom. You're seeing that this is a whole entire move of extensions. Don't expect 11 pesos to be supported. These are lower highs. Every move here is an extended move, right? Your Dito Telecom rose from about 1 peso to as high as 19 peso. It's going to drop even if you sold here, even if you sold here, and even if you continually sell here. So these are all extensionary moves. Where's the support? Usually 19 divided by 2, that's 10 divided by 3 because this is an extensionary move. It's about 20 divided by 3 is about 6 pesos. You could even argue the price of support is really here, 6 to 7. So this is, I think, where the supports would lie. Because that is where the majority, I'd say the equilibrium part would be here. So even if your cost is 3 pesos, guys, if you didn't sell at 18 or 16 or 14, you might cry and sell tomorrow at 12 or 10 or 9, you know, those types of things. Merrimart, example, extensions, right? So we've been arguing this extensionary move, this distribution phase. Finally, it fell, right? So 8 is now trading at about 5. But at the end of the day, where was the move started? You could see naman the low was what? 2 pesos. Okay. Some would even argue that 350 is their cost. So with this sell-off, this will continually go down. If you didn't sell at 6 pesos above, you would sell at 5 pesos today. Any rallies would continually be sold. Congratulations to everyone who sold. And when will you buy? Technically speaking, the support of Merrimart is somewhere here at 3 to 350. I don't know if it's going to fall tonight another 10% or drop again, but likely that any rallies would continually be sold down. So first support's probably about 350 or 4 pesos. I think there will be a drop somewhere here because that's where the supports are. And some people might even not buy. We'll see. But it's very clear that this is a downtrend. Dito, Merrimart, downtrend. How about Asen? Let's discuss about the downtrend. We were saying that this was a downtrend already because this is distribution phase. So this movement, 550 to 10, that's the late chasers. Where was the support? Somewhere here, guys, 2 pesos. So at 676, these are still the late chasers. Sell mood because people will actually eventually realize how extended the moves are. And where will the support be? Okay, let's argue that this is a secular trend, that there will be some buyers at 550, perhaps they'll buy at about 5 pesos, perhaps. Those who sold here might likely buy also at the way down near 5 or 550. We don't argue that we'll be able to buy at 2. So let's assume that there are supports 550, 5, probably. We'll see another support at 450. But until those things happen, best to see whether the market is going to go down. And looks like it's lower highs, downtrends. So these are downtrends. Downtrends. Argument to buy. Some people would argue, okay, they'll buy at 6. Some of them might buy at 6. Prior support is perhaps prior resistance is perhaps the first sign of support. 6 all the way to about 4. We'll see how the market goes. But when it's extended, we often said that extensions are not meant for buying. It's for distribution. Malaysia secular trend. No, I don't disagree with a secular trend. However, is it extended? Answer is it is. Where were the buyers here? The buyers were here, 180 to $2. So will the people who bought here sell? You never know. If they want to sell, the answer is yes. So extensionary moves will, of course, create a higher low. It will fall usually at about 50% retracement. So the 50% Fibonacci is about 4 pesos for Nicolasia. So I don't know if it will go 4 or will it get supported at 450, but I argue that, well, it will still be sold down no matter what you think. So these are already distribution areas. People are profit taking. Who are the people profit taking there? The people who probably bought 3 pesos below. They'll buy it back at some point in time, but because it's a secular trend, but they'll probably try to wait as low as they can, right? So your Philippine stock index, where can it fall? People like to ask, Nikki, where will the Philippine index fall? You see this resistance very clearly at about 7,000 area, 7.2. So although I don't know if, well, it's not really I don't know. I don't think that we would fall to about 6,000. But I will not preclude myself in the fact that, end of the day, when people panic, anything goes. So let's assume that the support is at about 6.3 to 6,000. You've already got this resistance at about very clear resistance at 7K. A 10% drop is just 6.3. So 6.3 for support. Let's see whether 6.3 is a support. But I would argue 6.3 is a support. That would mean that your Ayala Lands, Ayala Corp, that would be your index names. Your Ayala land has been distributed here at about 40 to 42. This is being sold down. And so it's probably going to go down back to about 34 to 32. That's just my guess. My guess is that your properties are not out of the woods. So your properties would have a buying area somewhere here about 34 to 33. Now, your financials are, of course, in the resistance. We argued BDO here about 110 is being sold down. This is a distribution, perhaps. Where will it go down? Perhaps here, 95 area. So you've got these supporters. Of course, you would argue, no, it's going to be supported at 100. That's also possible because financials might be recovering faster than expected. But I think that you just evaluate your risk reward. If the market's going to fall, let's take it one day at a time. Let's take it one day at a time. But I would argue that the downside is bigger than the upside. Ma'am, what do you think about Robinson's Retail? I argued actually that 58 all the way to 44 is a supportive area. You don't see a lot of downside. Although it has fallen to about 54, I'd argue that your Robinson's Retail is a company that can be kept even if it falls. So it's now doing 52. Assuming you bought at 60 or not 60, let's say you bought starting here now 58. Right? Because this is a first support at 58. We argue that 58 all the way down to about 45 would be a support. Or, at the end of the day, kasi I'm willing to buy all the way down. So, I'm willing to buy all the way down. Let's say you bought at 58. It's now 52. Okay lang. Hintay mo. Is it a company that has cash flows? The answer is yes. Is it going to go up tomorrow? Not necessarily. If the market's going to fall, the RHI could fall, your Robinson's Retail could fall, but are you holding a company that has value? I'd argue yes. So where will the support be? 50, 45? If we actually retest this March, I'd say that, well, it's just really an opportunity to buy a company that is a supermarket at the end of the day. It has that value cash flow. Does it mean that peer goes going to go down to the March lows of about 27 or 30? If you bought somewhere here about 41 or 40, and you're buying here at about 35 to 37, the argument is that, well, you should be prepared to buy here at about 30 pesos if the market fell. Now, let's say you don't have money to buy more. Does it mean that you're gone, your money is permanently gone? No. Assuming it does go 30 pesos, as long as you do not panic, we're not even sure if it will fall down there. The ones who have cash will buy there. The ones who don't have cash, don't panic. You just keep your shares. It's not as if it's gonna be permanently down. Marami talagang naipit kay dito, lalo na ang mga nakabili sa 18 because they thought magto-25 daw. Market has never been obvious talaga. To be honest, if you sold at 11, 12 today, okay pa rin eh. Kasi your cost would have been about 3 pesos below if you were really properly buying your company. If the Philippines is not going to stay 7-1 in the future, is it even wise to invest in this market in the short term? Ako personally, I'm not too I'll be honest. I'd rather invest Awesome10X globally. So unless like you give me a big upside, very little opportunities here. How about Spotify, Zoom Video, Tesla? That's for the global market updates. But Spotify, $270 to $240, I'd like to get in. I had the Spotify at about 160 below. Bought some, 225, 240. I sold it about $350. A drop at 270 all the way to 200 will tempt me to get a lot of Spotify shares. Zoom Video, I'm still waiting. Sold it for 40, doing 340 right now. Trying to wait if I can get some Zoom at about $300. Although baka possible hindi rin. Some people entered 360. We sold at about 440, 430, 450 near there. Tesla, I'm willing to buy $600 all the way to $400. So an average price of 500 would be good. Last week, Tesla bounced from about 539, closed at about 589. There will be resistances near 700 in the short term. But I'd say that the rewards will be compelling depending, of course, on your cost. So I don't think the Tesla long-term shareholders at cost below $100 are really selling. They're just trimming it. So they sold some, 700, 800, 880. Some would even argue they've sold as early as 500, below the current levels. They sold before. They sold at about 450 before. So if they can get into their Tesla at about 450 again, they would likely buy it back. That's it. Thank you very much. See you on Awesome 10X Market Updates Global. Bye-bye. Thank you.